Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of KSPPOV, where we play Kerbal Space Program in first person. So there's no need to really linger on the title screen and do an intro, so let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, so here we are at the KSC. You may notice that we have a little bit more funds and a lot more science than we left off on the last episode, and that is because we did a little in-between episode grinding, contract grinding, science grinding, driving around the KSC that was uploaded to our members-only channel. We just kind of hung out and did some science. So now we have 101 to spend, and that's going to get us started. I wanted to get in a better start position before we launched our first rocket, and that's what I think we're going to do today. So first, let's check out our missions. We only have the experiments around the KSC at the moment, so let's go ahead and grab some new ones. So this one is a suborbital trajectory. We want that one. This one is to escape the atmospheres, again, suborbital. So we can take both of those at the same time. And then we also have the 2 orbit curving contracts, which is something that we're going to try to focus on and work on today. So I'm going to go ahead and grab both of those as well. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to manage to make an orbital rocket today, because like I mentioned last episode, Unkerballed Start is pretty brutal. It's pretty hard to do the things that were easy to do in stock, and even easy to do in the community tech tree update, or upgrade. So here we are in R&D. We are going to spend 45 immediately into the basic science, because we want this science junior. We want this experiment storage unit. We definitely want this booster cam, and so on. So let's go ahead and grab that. We're also going to get ourselves basic rocketry, general rocketry, and we can't do advanced rocketry, but that's going to be next up on our list. We're going to go ahead and get fabrication. That gives us some radial decouplers, which are going to be good. And then we're also going to do basic construction. That gives us a few more things to work with, and some RCS, some rover wheels, better wheels than what we have. So go ahead and grab that. And both of them have a little offshoot that each of them are just worth 1 point. So we're going to go ahead and get those as well. And that is all we can forward science-wise. We still have 8.8. And so that should be enough to get ourselves a suborbital rocket at the very least. We also have quite a bit of funds to spend, so I think I'm going to spend 75,000 in on the launch pad. And so now we can hold a lot more tonnage, which means we can build a bigger rocket right from the get-go. I also want to upgrade the tracking station, and that now, with the upgraded mission control and the upgraded tracking station, now we can have maneuvers, which means that we can plan our orbital launch very shortly. Oh yeah, the other thing I want to spend is on the admin building, 150. So we still have a decent amount of money, but considerably less than we did when we started. I want to, let's see, new biomes, no. Media circus, no. I'm going to take massive scale launches 1. And like in our other series, it gives us 40,000 funds when we reach orbit with 20 tons or more. And it gives us, this one doesn't give us reputations, but the higher one does. But we're going to take this because there's no downside to being under that weight. There's only a benefit of being over. And soon enough, we're going to start building big things, and reaching that will be easy. So let's build our first rocket. So this rocket is going to be uncrewed. We don't expect to bring it back at all. We may put some parachutes on it because we have a couple, but we don't plan on losing a Kerbal, is essentially what I mean. Got a small heat shield. That's excellent. We don't have cargo bay, which is unfortunate. Let's see. We've got some structural pieces, so we can attach that there. Let's go ahead and grab our science. We're gonna want 2 mystery goose, 2 press mat barometers, 2 thermometers, 2 onboard cameras, and I think we're gonna forgo the Science Junior for now. Yeah, we're gonna forgo the Science Junior for now, and the magnetometer boom, because that has to extend, and that's not gonna be good. We're gonna just grab the science that we can grab, and we'll work on grabbing all the science at some other point. I definitely don't need these many batteries, so let's just take off then. Let's put that there. Do we have any kind of control? No, we don't. Let's go ahead and grab our communications. We only need 1, but we're gonna keep the symmetry going and put 2 there. Unkerballed Start gives you an extra 10 parts to work with. You have 40 parts because they know that you're going to be working with a probe, so they allow you a few extra parts to work with right off the bat. So now we have a heat shield. We don't need as much ablator as we have, but I don't want to risk not having enough. So we're only going to turn. No, you know what? Let's not even bother. We don't need to save weight. It's fine. Okay, but let's save space here. There we go. And we're going to get our radial mounted parachutes, which are hilariously large in comparison to this. You know, we can put those right there and even them out. Perfect. Alright, so let's remove our experiments from symmetry. Alright, there we go. We can no longer, there's been an update to real chutes, and we can no longer arm the parachutes via action group. So I'm not entirely sure how to work that. If you know of a way to arm parachutes via action group, that'd be nice. We're gonna just put it on deploy chute, even though we have an option to deploy chute. That'll basically just be our last ditch attempt. And let's go ahead and program out these action groups. So the first one is going to be high alt. Second one is going to be space. And then AG3 is shoots. There we go, and we're going to call this the Pinhole 1, as we have been known to do in our series. I like to go ahead and keep that up. Do we have a fairing of sorts? No, we don't. Okay. Well, no fairing for this journey. That's fine. Let's go ahead and put our decoupler there. We only need a small one. That's okay. Let's see, what kind of engines do we have? Okay, we have a decent engine, so let's give it a decent fuel tank. Alright, well, 21 parts. Okay, we're doing fine. We don't have a lot of long tanks, so unfortunately this is what we're gonna have to do. Maybe I can get away with a thinner tank on that. This is liquid fuel. Yeah, that's liquid fuel and oxidizer. So I think that's way more than we need, but let's figure this out here. Let's throw another tank on there. I was about to make it go orbital. Should I just make it go orbital? Let's see. Let's see what kind of delta V we got with this thing with a couple of SRBs on it. Okay, that'll be good. That'll just go up. We've got plenty of thrust right off launch. I need to pick better words. There is one thing that is very important that we want, and that is the camera. I like this booster cam. It seems to work well enough. Let's go ahead and put it that way. You know what, let's mirror that. Let's remove this one from symmetry. Spin it upwards. Maybe we'll have two cameras. It does get a little buggy sometimes when you add more cameras, and sometimes you don't even get to see the cameras you added, but regardless, let's go ahead and try this. So, yeah, we're not going to make this one orbital just yet. This is just the pinhole one. We'll make an orbital one after we get some science, because then we don't need to pack it full of science exactly. And we may actually just be able to just add a few more pieces to this, and we'll be able to good to go. Anyways, the point here being is when you're dealing with Unkerballed Start, it pays off to unlock your science early on. Alright, I'm going to do a quick simulation, just make sure it flies correctly, and then we should be ready to launch very soon, I believe. Well, that was not good. Not a good test, but I feel like, let's see, we've got a few extra parts. I feel like something that more boosters could be the solution for. So let's go ahead and do those first. Drop that on this, that, and the other. I think that will be good for us. And our last thrust to weight is still under 1. However, it will be high enough that we have some good delta V. Wow, we actually 33,000. Oof. Anyways, save, simulate, and I'll see you soon. Well, more boosters usually works, but if your initial rocket sucks, that's not going to do you any good. So this whole mess was terrible, because if you come over here and look at the engine stats on the Spacely, move that out of here, we are dealing with 15 kilonewtons of thrust. You know, this solid fuel booster is 162. So just to compare the two, that's pretty awful. The Spider is 1 point something kilonewtons. So this is only 15 times better than the Spider, and the Spider could not lift a flea up to orbit, much less all this. So let's get rid of that. Let's just do some solid booster times. Let's do that with a decoupler, and then we're gonna do one of those with 4 of those, and we'll do our more boosters in this sort of way. 8.65 thrust to weight is way more than we need, so let's go ahead and we'll take the decoupler. We'll put these on 2-way symmetry. There we go. And how many parts do we have? 33? Let's see if we can save some funds. Let's put those 37. We'll put one on here and one on here. Yeah, 39 parts. Let's see if we can recover some funds from this. I think that'd be nice. So, first to go are that with the parachutes. All right. And these fire. And the next to go are the sides with the parachutes. And this fires. Next to go is that with the parachute. And this fires. And as we go, that becomes next. This becomes here. And those parachutes last. Excellent. Always remember to check your staging. And with KSPPOV, always remember to check your IVA. So we want the mission control retro. So once again, simulate. I thought I was only going to need to simulate this once and launch it out. I am glad I didn't bother to not bother to simulate. So let's get going. You know what would help? Wings. Control surfaces. To bring that down a little bit. But that brings us over parts, so let's get rid of that because that also made us go to the side, and we need to lose 2, so let's just lose 2 of those. Alright, we'll still recover these 3 in the center in this, but none the rest. Okay, is that going to... Yeah, all that's going to go up. Alright, so that should give us balance. Once again, back to the simulation board. Well, it's definitely more stable, but it is not going to space. So we're going to take off all the extra parachutes. Unfortunately, no stage recovery for this one, because we are going to need those wings elsewhere. What's our... that is not good. It's not good at all. We're going to need wings on this top stage because it is not stable at high altitudes. Flips around. Okay. If we get rid of these side boosters, I think this could work. We still have 3 parts we can add, so let's put these back. Parachutes back. There we go. That goes there. That goes there. All right, looking good. Okay, I can't even tell you how wrong that is. All of that is not going to suffice. What if... Alright. 47 seconds. Burn time of... Doesn't tell us what its burn time is. 8 seconds, okay. Let's see if we can just get some massive force on this. Let's just see if this, let's just see how this does. And of course the center of, yeah, way bad, way bad. But see, each one of these is going to be gone very soon. This is probably the worst idea I've had thus far. Maybe. Maybe we'll see. Unkerballed Start is a challenge. Highly recommend. Terrible idea. I was correct the first time. Let's see. I feel like this is still number one for us right now, as it has the longest burn time. We're going to try that again in theory, but with this booster instead. Alright, well, this one will not have enough to lift us. We only have 39. So, this is not going to be good enough either. We might not have the technology to break the Kármán line. Okay. Let's try it. I should probably look up what the delta V required to break that is, but I do not know where that would be. Well, that was close, and I think we can possibly get this figured out. First thing I want to do, separate that, rotate this, and then we are going to get rid of this camera, because this is the one facing down. And we're going to get rid of this parachute, and hopefully those two will balance each other out. Yep, that's the right one, pointed downwards. Okay, I've got a good feeling about this. I should have looked at what its mass was, but we definitely lowered the mass of that. And we only have one more change to make. That is just to rotate this whole thing. It tilted towards the west when we launched it, so I think the weight of this parachute was enough to pull it that way. And while it did break the Kármán line, this rocket will get to space. I think it'll be more efficient and better for us if we headed eastward. So one last simulation to make sure that is the case, and we may be ready to launch this. I did come to the conclusion during that test flight, however, that we will probably not be able to make it to orbit today. I don't think we have the technology. Doing a probes before a crewed start is always a challenge, and this one is, I would say, by far the most challenging outside of RP1. But let's go ahead and simulate, and we'll talk more about that later. Okay, I was gonna say, did it really not save that craft? Okay, do we have 1 point? Yes, we do. So we have one extra, well, we have 3 extra spots that we can add something, but we have one that we want to. We're gonna throw the Kerbal Engineering chip on there. And that'll give us a little more information as we go. And let's make sure we check our IVA. Excellent. Let's go ahead and throw our flag on this thing. Why not? Make it bigger. And we'll use it to cover our chip. Yeah, we'll use it to cover that whole thing. I like it. I like it. I like the foil flag. That might come in handy when decorating landers and stuff. And let's make it double. And let's put it on the experiments instead. This is really just cosmetic and does not matter, but just the fact that we had two extra spots makes it nice. There we go. We won't use it to cover it, we'll just use it as kind of like an innards kind of thing. That looks nice. Alright, the Pinhole 1 is ready for its first flight. This is our very first rocket of the program, KSP POV Season 4. Let's go. Lovely looking rocket. Very, very advanced looking rocket on our launch pad. That's what I like to see. Let's go ahead and get our screens up the way we like them. There we go. We got our camera to see our flight progress. We've got our resources right there. We're also going to bring up our camera here. And we can't bring our resources up here, so we'll bring that orbital information even though we're not going to use it. Let's go ahead and bring our seat down. See, I think this is where it's going to benefit doing real-time voiceover as opposed to the voiceover after the fact, because I can right now tell you I'm turning on the instrument lights, I'm turning on the panel lights. Right now I'm turning on the ARRT, I don't know what that stands for, but I'm turning that on right now. And I can tell you all the things that I click, the FDAI guide, that's going to be our nav ball indicator basically. But I can tell you all the things that I'm clicking on in an IVA mode. It's a little hard after the fact. I can kind of, as I'm doing my voiceover, I can kind of pay attention to what I'm looking at and clicking on and do my best to explain it. But at this point right now, I can just tell you in real time what I'm looking at. Alright, so we are ready to go. We've got all of our screens managed. We're not going to use the Crash Specialist or the Capcom desk for this. So, Gene Kerman, you're in control. Ooh, that looks great. That was a successful launch. We've got a thrust to weight almost up to 5. We're steadily increasing our altitude. Let's go ahead and stage. We can keep an eye on our resources here. Oh, we don't have our SAS on. SAS this way. We have limited control. Ooh, this might not be as good as I thought. We may have to launch a second rocket because, like I mentioned, we're playing with our consequences here. And while no Kerbals will be harmed in the making of this rocket, the funds will have to be spent. So, but we'll see what we can get out of this. If we end up not making it to space, then we'll at least get some science, right? Alright, let's go ahead and stage that. Yeah, we are pointed too far horizontally. Let's see, what's our altitude right now? There it is. Okay, we're not even at 2,000. Yeah, this is low in space. You know what? Let's get low in space science. Don't have that. Temperature scan. Oh, we're over the grasslands. Okay, interesting. Yeah, let's do low in space there, and let's, okay, our solid fuel is almost out. That's good. And then let's get the science from the grasslands. I think that will be a good usage. There we go. That'll be a good usage of this launch. Let's not completely worthless. We got some science out of it. Excellent. Okay, so now we want to turn our FD AI guide mode to negative because we want to keep an eye on where our retrograde is. And this tells us that we're just hovering over it. There's nothing else really we can do for the moment. We don't have SAS control because our probe core is not good enough. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to keep an eye here on our altimeter and its rate, as well as the camera. And we're just going to time warp our way forward. Some real low resolution clouds. Because, you know, it's an early probe room, early control room, so the tech is quite low. Let's go ahead and kill our time warp and watch this. Alright, so now we are at 1,000 meters, coming down fairly quickly, so let's go ahead and stage. Whew, that was close. So we are now going less than a meter per second. It's going to take us quite a bit to cross that, but at 200 meters above the ground, that is a successful and safe landing, and I think preemptively we can call this mission pass. However, we are going to get the science that it takes to land in the grasslands, because we still have more science to do. So let's go ahead and time warp our way down. And it may be a little bit, so I will cut to when we land. Oh, there we go. I was actually could have paid a little more attention to our altimeter because that came up a lot faster than I was expecting. Well, let's go ahead and do our science. And yep, as I expected, brand new science from brand new biome. All of our science was available. And yeah, this it did not get to space, the Pinhole 1, but we did manage to get some science out of it, so it is not a waste. But I need to remember to turn on SAS right off the bat, right when we launch, so that doesn't happen again. Wow, we got 40 science from that. Well, we got 29.6 science from that, but 40 science now in total to spend, and I think I'm going to spend that, even though we're going to launch the same rocket, basically. We are going to spend that on a few things. We're going to want this service bay, definitely, but we need to unlock stability before we do that. Early aviation would be good because it gives us fairing, even though it's a small one. Still, fairing nonetheless. It's a turbo shaft and some helicopter blades. That might be nice. I never really played around with the helicopters or the prop planes. Some better fuel tanks. Clampetron Juniors. Let's see. Advanced rocketry we can't afford just yet, but that will give us better engines. And this Pug liquid fuel engine is the first vacuum rated engine, so potentially orbit capable. But oh yeah, and then gizmos, that's just extra batteries and stuff. We're not gonna do that. I think I am going to save. Yeah, I'm going to save this science. We have a lot of science, but let's not spend it just yet. Let's launch another one of those pinholes and try again. Yep, that should be good. We'll try again, and that may be the last launch of the episode. We'll see, but I have a really good feeling about this launch. So let's go ahead and get into the probe control room. Just quickly get ourselves set up again. Turn our monitors the way we want them. Alright, let's lower our seat, turn on our lights, turn on our altimeter, change our FDA guide mode, and turn on SAS this time. The Probodobodine Saputnik does not have SAS. However, one of the mods that I have includes SAS, includes a probe core that has SAS in the decouplers as a way of stage recovery. As a way of stage recovery, one of the mods there. So that's where we get the SAS from. We technically shouldn't have it at this early, but I don't want to go fiddling with that mod because I don't know that you can disable that, and I kind of want to keep it. We'll figure it out as we go along, but we're very soon going to be getting into the spot where probe cores have AS, no matter what. But anyways, I'm talking too much. Let's fire this rocket. Now let's keep an eye on the fuel because I don't want to waste time letting it free float. There we go. I guess that wasn't the fuel we should have been looking at. I wish I had a stage version of this, but regardless, let us just keep an eye on our stats. So this here is our apoapsis, and as long as it goes above 70, we should be good. Our nav ball has us pointing slightly westward, it seems like. Can we tilt that? Oh, no, that is eastward. Okay. Oh, our nav ball is backwards. That's right. Okay. Okay, let's not tilt that anymore, lest we lose control. And stage. It's funny, we have access to maneuvers at the moment, and we're just struggling to break the atmosphere. Really interesting the way that, just depending on which mod you add, how different of a playstyle it makes things. Oh, so we got 30% of our fuel left. We're passing high altitude now. Going very quickly towards our goal. Looks like only a few seconds left. And are we going to pass 70? We're going to pass 70. Yes. Beautiful. Let's just go ahead and kick that off. Nice, nice, nice. So where's our altimeter? Right here. Ooh, flipping around. Yep, flipping around. All right. Let's change this to retrograde because we want to keep an eye on that. And our altimeter is getting us to pass 55 kilometers. And I think once we reach 60 kilometers, that's when we will do our first batch of science. High altitude, there we go. Yep, Kerbin's upper atmosphere. Did that correctly. And once we break 70 kilometers, oh, it goes ahead and does that. So we will take a look at our contracts. There we go. We successfully completed it. And let's go ahead and time warp. So now we are facing mostly straight down. Actually, I probably should have let it go this way a little more, but you live and you learn. It's been a little bit since I've done a POV series, and I would do first-person views, IVA modes, in some of the missions in the KSP and whatnot. But it's been a little bit since I've done IVA only, so I gotta get used to the challenge again, used to the swing of things. All right, so it looks like we are lining up with our retrograde pretty easily. And so I don't have too much fear. Did we do science in space? We did not. We did not do science in space. How did we not do science? It's because I was talking. The challenge that I'm also facing is this real-time commentary. Oh, you know what? We're gonna land in the mountains. We'll get some space. We'll get some science from that. Yeah, this real-time commentary can distract me apparently. So since we're in the mountains, let's go ahead and stage our parachute a little early. At 1,000 kilometers. Or 1,000 meters? Yeah, 1,000 meters. 1 kilometer. Alright, let's go ahead and time warp our way down. $50 meters from there. Gonna be landing in quite the area. But we're relatively flat, so hopefully we don't tumble for too long. Let's just do our science now. Yep, Kerbin's Mountains. Excellent. I feel like transmission might be a good idea because this probe might be destroyed. You don't say. You don't say. Where are the alarm controls? I don't have anything on. Well, hopefully this ends soon. It looks like we're slowing down. There's nothing I can do to control it. And I can't recover it while it's moving across the ground like this. The Probodobonite Staputnik is just, it wants to roll because it's just cylindrical. And it sticks out farther than this girder does. So it is acting as the rolling point. Let's just time warp a little bit. Not too fast because we don't want it to explode. There we go. Coming to a halt. Excellent. Let's recover this craft. We're going to launch one more vessel. We're going to do our science in space and then we'll call it an episode. But I think we're just going to launch the vessel and fast forward from here. There we go. And there we have it. We have successfully landed the last of the Pinhole 1. This one actually got the science from space. So we are ready to bring it on home. did forget to run the science at the place that I landed at last. However, we still got quite a bit. 149 is nothing to sneeze at. We're going to be able to unlock quite a few things, and it's going to make our mission even better. I think in the next episode we're going to try to work on going orbital. We have science to unlock better engines now, but we are still going to have to figure out how to utilize the science that we have, because those engines are still very underpowered. Even though we've unlocked as much as we have, the engines that we have unlocked are considerably underpowered given even to the first engine. Like, we don't even have a Reliant or a Swivel yet. We have to spend hundreds of science in order to unlock that. And those are the first engines you start with in stock KSP. Has some debris over there. Okay. So yeah, so it's going to be a bit of a struggle, but at the same time, we're also going to kind of try to push forward as much as we can. I like this new format of real-time. Let's get the sun up. I like this format of real-time narration over through what I've done. I've been continuing that in our test flight. So if you're not a member of the channel and you want to get more content and more conversation about what we're doing and the reasons why things fail and see my reactions in real time, then go ahead and check that out. There's the join button below the video if that's something you're interested in. But anyways, that is where I'm going to leave today's episode. I'm excited to continue KSP POV Season 4. I have a lot of plans. It's so nice to be able to do this in real time, 60 frames per second, as opposed to the just unnaturally low that I had before. I had to do a lot of editing tricks to make it bearable, and I'm glad that I don't have to do that anymore. So I'm excited to revisit my favorite series, a very popular series on the channel. A lot of you like the POV, and so I hope you're in for this one as well. And if this is your first time with the KSP POV, maybe check out one of my other series or playlists as well. But anyways, that's where I'm going to leave today's episode. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're looking forward for more KSP POV. If you did, please consider subscribing. Drop me a like. Let me know your thoughts. And I will see y'all in the next one. Take care.